Welcome back to In Flames. This is me again. Sorry for the long break from these videos. I traveled half the world to meet my twin flame, manifested embodiment of my twin flame from 5D into 3D that I was talking about for a long time before in the videos, in the previous videos, and last week before I left my home in United States, I was extremely busy. It was extremely stressful, and I'll tell you what happened here in Europe. But of course, I first want to tell you that the reason that I didn't make the video until tonight is not because the reunion made me so happy so that I didn't have time that I forgot others because I was in the state of happiness. That's not the reason. The reason is I was constantly actually thinking about all of you. I was praying for all of you. I was trying to manifest your reunions during the merge with my twin flame. But the trip itself, the way I traveled and then he traveled with me, was so hectic that I absolutely had no moment to spare to sit down and make videos, because even calling my parents was hard because my phone wouldn't charge, my charger broke, and I was on my feet constantly and it was really hard. I'm kind of finally settled. I'm actually in my hometown where I was born and I'm in my house. And the thing is, I have so many amazing photos to show you that happened through the reunion on the first days of the trip, because we took some photos, but and basically with my twin flame phone. But what happened is he sent me the photos in Messenger, then I downloaded them in my phone. But the other day my phone had so many videos and photos that the memory was full, the storage was full, so I accidentally deleted everything. And right now, the state I'm in right now, I don't want to go to Messenger anywhere to pull those photos back again, not today at least. And I definitely want to share them with you. So what I'm going to be sharing in this video, what you can see on the screen, is basically photos that I took today in my hometown and the land that I own. Well, actually my father owns, but anyways, I visited the graves of my ancestors yesterday, and today I went on the waterfall, amazing waterfall in my hometown, as you will see. But I wanted to talk to you about reunion and what's happening currently. So I had, like I said, before I reached my twin, I was on the hardest trip, like traveling wise, in my life. And mind you, I used to be refugee. I traveled from Europe to United States as a refugee, but I was an easy flight, to be honest. It was emotionally hard, but this one was such a bad trip. And I want to say, don't ever book with cheapo air, because that was the biggest mistake I've ever made. I thought I was being smart, saving money. I lost a lot of money. It was really bad connections, huge layovers, traveling alone. They broke my luggage, and millions of, well, not millions, honestly, but lots and lots of challenges um on my way to reunion, lots of traps and lots of blockages. But the whole time I constantly prayed to God to have me reach my reunion, to reach my twin, because like it says in the Quran, there's a chapter in the Quran that says, after the hardship comes ease. After the hardship comes ease. And I'm not repeating it because that's like what I want to do, to repeat this verse to you, but because actually God repeats it. In that chapter, that sentence is repeated twice. So God repeats to us twice, after the hardship comes ease. After the hardship comes ease. So he's trying to double tell us that we have to stay patient in the hardship. And I'm seeing this to myself right now, because I'm going through another hardship right now, which is not of the same kind. This one is emotional one. This is a tower moment in a twin flame relationship. But let's go back to the reunion first and the merge and everything that happened. So when I finally reached my destination where I was supposed to meet my twin, I didn't know if he was gonna be there. My phone was dead. I didn't know if he was gonna arrive. Later on, when we met, I actually saw that he sent me a message that I didn't receive. He wasn't even sure. He was confused. Which airport? There's two airports in the town, and they're quite apart. And he almost ended up on the wrong airport waiting for me. So basically, he came to the right airport, but uh, he wasn't even sure if he was in the right spot. He was just waiting for me there with the full faith that that's the right spot. And when I walked out of the gate and I saw him for the first time in my life in a physical form, I was so happy. I was so shocked. It was such an amazing moment. When you see someone in a physical form that you just know all your life, and that, when you met on internet, you always wondered what's gonna be like, when you meet them in person. And he looked quite younger than he looks in the pictures. I mean, something in his eyes, in his expression. He was just a little boy in his eyes. I'm sorry, guys, I'm crying. It's just too emotional because this is the first time I'm talking about my moments. And he saw me and he smiled at me. He recognized me immediately and he ran to me and immediately started treating me like I was a queen. He grabbed my bags and everything. And yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that he forgot the flowers and he's maybe not the kind of romantic person that that every girl, dreams of. Like, he didn't bring any presents or anything, but later on, I realized what kind of person he is, where he grew up, what his background is. He's not used to. He hasn't learned such manners from his maybe father or grandfather, or his family is not in that kind of you know uh they're not type of people who buy things or gifts and stuff like that. But he brought himself to me, and that was most important. And he traveled across the whole country to another country, actually, where he had actually recently had some issues on the border. He couldn't cross the border, I don't know, for some stupid reasons. And so he was kind of risking with his passport, will they let him in or not. Recently they confused him with someone else, so once they didn't let him in, next time they did let him in. So he was a little bit concerned, but he made it through. And later on we crossed that border several times back and forth, and there was no such problems at all. But anyways, it was kind of risky. And he traveled a lot. He took a time off from his work. He's super busy guy. He has several projects that he signed up for as a construction guy. And so anyways, like I said, he brought himself to me, and he brought the reunion to me, the twin flame reunion. And it's hard right now because I'm in a tower moment, but I'm so grateful to the universe, to Allah, to source of life and light, that the reunion did happen and the merge did happen. And here's what happened next. After he was a I expected that the 3D him, the physical him, was a little bit confused and shy, but not as much as someone else would be. He was pretty much holding himself well. And he was just staring at me. And I was trying to be the tough one, although I was super 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 tired and exhausted. Haven't slept in days. And the best part was he still liked me, and he was I could feel the attraction was through the roof. It was crazy. It's beyond, because it is beyond physical. It's physical, yet it's kind of, it can even be tricky that you may think that it's all physical because it's so strong. but it's like both. It's physical and spiritual and emotional, and you don't know which one is which when they all get mixed up. So we went, he parked his car a little bit, like on the parking from the airport. We walked there. He took my luggage. I had enormous luggage because I intend to stay here a longer time. And we went into his car, and that was something I cannot describe. When he took my hand and he held my hand in his, it was out of this world energy. It was out of this world energy. I instantly started praying for all of you, for your reunions to manifest it, because of that strong energy right there and then. And also I was so content that it finally, we were, holding each other's hands, but that energy was undeniable. That's the only word I can find right now. Undeniable truth that the twin flames do exist, that the energy of twin flames does exist. And again, like I said, in this tower moment right now, I I'm trying to remember. It's helping me actually making this video to remember that moment, how super natural it was. Supernatural. Twin flame energy is supernatural. There is actually a term called suprasexual. It's not sexual, it's suprasexual. It's spelled SUPRA sexual. So like, I'd say super sexual, but it's more than that. We were like fireworks. There was fireworks. It was crazy. Like we were out of our body in that car, just holding hands. He hugged me so hard, so long. It was the longest hug I've ever had in my life. It's just like, and I didn't want it to stop. Like my mind was saying, like, why don't you drive? Like, let's go as soon as possible. Let's just drive. Let's go to our destination, because I had a hotel booked actually across the border in our country, but it's just about hour and a half drive away. And I couldn't wait to get out of my uh, luggage and clothes, and take a shower, and sit down and look at him. But at the same time, I couldn't let go of that hug. He couldn't uh, get off of that hug. And it's just, I think it lasted forever. I think maybe, I don't know how long, I just time stopped. I don't know how long we were in that car, just in embraced, just like those images of twin flames in embrace, and that is even, maybe that was the, maybe, well, you can't say which one is better or worse, or like better or less, more or less, but maybe that moment was the biggest type of merge we had, that hug, that embrace. And I prayed for everyone in that moment, because that's that point of energy when it's just like out of the roof and it manifests things. So anyways, after the hug, finally, we just kind of, we had to release what we didn't want to release out of each other's arms. And then he constantly held my hand. He wouldn't let go. um, there was no sweat or anything. We should have been in a physical world. Like if you hold someone's hand for over an hour, should be some sweat, or uncomfortable feeling. But it wasn't, and he just wouldn't let go of my hand. The whole constant time he was driving, he was holding my hand. And we came to that, like, again, time had stopped. We traveled through beautiful nature, just amazing. And I have photos. Like I said, he asked me, he never traveled through that area where we were heading to our hotel and resort. And he was like, wow, I've never, like, vineyards and stuff. It was just so beautiful. It was a sunny day, and May 7th, beautiful day. So I took photos with his phone, and like I said, I will post them in the next video, hopefully. And just amazing. And right now, you can see on the screen my hometown, where I'm currently at, where I'm recording this video. Please visit it if you ever get a chance. It's in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's called Jajce. It's spelled Jajce. It's a very weird name, but it means egg in our language, because it's the hill that's shaped like kind of like a I don't know, like a half egg or something. And there's a castle on top of it. There's an old tower from the time of first Christians, early Christians, the time of the first followers of Christ. And then there's mosques, and there's churches, and it's just it has 25 national historical places, and it's candidate for UNESCO heritage site. It's called the Museum in the Open Air, because the whole city is basically museum, and it's live with it's bustling with life, and people are visiting forever, but it's not too busy like other places. So this is the waterfall. Anyways, back to the merge, back to the reunion. We came to the hotel, and that was a place, that hotel was the place where I first walked as a baby, as a child, and I had emotional attachment to that place, and I wanted to visit it again with him. And it's in the beautiful, beautiful bay of Adriatic Sea, and it's just, I can't wait to show you the photos. Anyways, I walked straight through the room onto the balcony to view the beautiful bay where they have the best shellfish in the world they raise over there. And we had dinner a couple of nights later when we rested and everything. But anyways, I was just leaning on the railings on the balcony, and he came behind me. It was just like in the movies. Like, I don't want anyone to I don't want to brag about or anything. It's kind of hard for those who are not in reunion yet. And believe me, I'm right now in the tower moment with my twins. So yeah, I mean, life is ups and downs, but at that moment it was like really like the best of the romantic movie scenes. That, like, he came behind me, like, yeah, I'm gonna sound cheesy now, but it was a DiCaprio moment from Titanic, um, when he hugged me. And it was more than DiCaprio. It was more than Titanic, because we are twin flames, and the energy, just like all of the electrical surge went through me when he hugged me. And he actually carried me back into the room, and we were supposed to get married. Uh, we were supposed to get married. That was our plan, to go meet and then get married. But when it comes to twin flames, we just, there's no waiting time. There is no waiting time. We wanted to merge as soon as possible. There's no waiting time. You cannot expect twin flames to wait for any ordinances, for any law or order or anything. We break all the obstacles. We break all the paradigms. We break everything. We are the paradox of God, because God protects the twin flames. God created twin flames. God wants twin flames to reunite, and it's beyond any law or any, like Jesus used to say when they told him, they accused him of breaking the law. He told them that some live under the law and some live under the grace of God. And that doesn't mean that you're supposed to break the law of God. It just means that at certain circumstances, you also have to live by the grace of God and understand His mercy and love is above everything else. And like the Quran says, every single time in every single chapter is open with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, the most merciful of all mercies. So imagine any mercy in the world, anyone being merciful to anyone, and then all those mercies together cannot compare to the mercy of God. So this Creator has given us this moment where we cannot be we were simply not able to get away from each other. It was just, and then after the amazing, it was something, I don't know, it lasted like all evening, all night. It was uncomparable to anything I've ever experienced physically and spiritually. And then right after that, we bathed together. It was like a baptism. It was like, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it. And then we prayed together. That was even more important to me. We prayed together. He led the prayer. He's very beautiful. He recites Quran very beautifully. We prayed together. Now later on, of course, we talked about that. He had an issue like, this is bothering me. We need to get married. And I told him, it's bothering me too, but like I explained to him how I feel. I told him, could you have waited? Like he said, no, but then you have to understand that God is the one who created you. If you follow his law and always are on his path, and then this is part of his path, this special connection, twin flame connection, and we waited for so long to see each other. We just it's not that we couldn't be patient. It's more than that, because it's not a regular karmic relationship. It's not a relationship where you can control that energy. That energy is too big to control. That's how it is. And then I didn't want to control it, because I wanted the merge to happen as soon as possible, because it's more important to me than some uh, what's called proprieties, or what will people think, because I'm 100% sure that God wanted this merge to happen. Now, would have been possible that we got married first, if it was possible, if we had option, because we traveled to the part of the country we couldn't find any such place at that area. And then also, we don't have any witnesses. We didn't have anyone with us, any family members, anyone. So basically, it would have been like, basically like, even though if it was possible, if it was religious wedding, it would still be just kind of like a Las Vegas type of, you know elopement type of wedding. So uh, in that case, it would be just kind of to make sure to tell people, we are married. And so that's for people, that's for pleasing other people. And there's no such thing with twin flames. Actually, it's happening to my twin right now, but that's because he's still in one way, and in one part he's still connected to the karma and to the 3D, and I'm not. I have ascended that, but that's what's separating us currently, because he still needs to raise above the 3D. He's attached to 3D still, when it comes to his work and karmic and background. When I say background, I mean his life before me and what he has created in 3D world before me. It's hard for him to let it go. It's hard, and he's going through that right now. And because he's going through that, I'm suffering too, but I am here and making this video. That's how I'm coping with that, and many other ways, prayers and things. So I don't know, my phone is giving me trouble right now. It's only 5% battery. I told you guys my charger is crazy. My phone doesn't charge well, but anyways, I will keep making this video no matter what. So anyways, we traveled. So we came to that destination, and we spent 3 days in that hotel. And for those of you who are over 18, I can just say that, let's just say that we skipped breakfast, lunch, and only had one breakfast one morning. We made it to, but then right after breakfast, we were right at each other again. And so it's kind of That gives you an idea how crazy attraction was. I'm just trying to fix my phone here. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of a little bit distracted with my charger. Anyways, I'm sure that your reunions will happen soon because of these powerful prayers we did. I said it out loud in front of him. He didn't seem to mind, and I told him we need to pray for others, even though he really understands the energy between two of us and what he's like feeling, but he's not familiar with the terminology of twin flame per se, right? Uh, and it's not even much popular in this country. Like, it's not very well known. Some people know about it, and I did introduce him to it, and he said this is just like us. He didn't say that it wasn't true or that he didn't believe in it, even though he's religious. And sometimes when you're in one certain religion, you can be kind of a little bit closed off to other perspectives. But he wasn't, because it's just basically staring at you and it's just true. And it just describes us. So he's like, yeah, that's just like us. I'm sorry, guys. So I got very sick. Like, the part of this tower moment is that I got very sick, and I don't want to share some other parts. There's some tragic events that happened just yesterday. uh Something really awful and sad had happened. And now, because I want to raise your energy and not deplete it, and raise my own energy, I will not talk about it. What happened was it's very hard for me, but I don't want to talk about that. It's not related to my twin, but it actually is, because I feel that by him leaving my hometown, is that caused really negative energies to kick in. uh and also God, should I call it God's wrath? I believe it's a God's wrath. And some of you may say that's because you guys were not married. It's not because of that. It's because when we were together, and I want to say that too, like after we left the resort, we traveled more everywhere. We traveled through the country and towards my hometown. We rented another car. He came with one rental car, then we rented another one. And then we were traveling towards my town, and we saw a lot of areas, we took a lot of beautiful photos. We connected more and more and more. We had one fight over the karmic issue again. It was really tough fight. At that moment, he tried to jump out of my car. That was super scary. But then again, that's a twin flame fight. It's not a normal fight. It cannot be a normal fight, just like nothing else is normal about twin flames. So the fight was awful. And 5 minutes later, when he calmed down, when I calmed him down, then we were laughing about it. But then the most amazing moment was when we got tired of driving and he started falling asleep and I started falling asleep. None of us could drive, and we parked in the wooded area by the road. God knows where. I still don't know where that was. It was somewhere in the, like, maybe 2 hours before my hometown, by the very powerful river. I could hear river roaring beyond, like on one side of the road. I heard the river roar, and I think it's actually one of the rivers that's passing through my hometown. Anyways, and on the other side was very green woods, and we parked the car. We hugged and we fell asleep, like in each other's arms, and I think we just left our bodies. It was something. I never felt such peace in my life. I was out of there. I was in some state of spiritual peace, like in heaven or something. I woke up 2 hours later. I couldn't wake him up for nothing, and then I kind of jumped over him and took the driver's seat and drove all the way to my hometown while he was still groggy and trying to wake up. But that those 2 hours that we were hugged and slept in the car on the side of the road was another amazing spiritual experience and merge, and just like falling out of this world into space, into universe. It was beautiful. And when I woke up, the sky was full of stars. It was just beautiful, beautiful, out of this world experience. So anyways, when we came to, as like I was going to say, as we traveled through the country, people everywhere were like staring at us, staring. They were drawn to us. There was some kind of magnetic influence. There was, people noticed us, and at one moment he said, why is that, like, why are those people staring at us? He's kind of self-conscious about that. And I was telling him, no, it's not, it's not because we're weird or something. It's because of our energy. And he maybe believed me, maybe not, but he got the proof just like maybe an hour later, because as we drove in the car and the windows are dark, people were still turning their heads towards our car. They couldn't see us, but they must have felt that energy from the car. They were turning around, staring at the car. So I told him, look, now they cannot see us. See, if we were weird or something, like he's self conscious. Why would they be like turning their heads towards our car? You didn't do anything weird with the car or anything. Just people are feeling something from us. And then miracles, also a lot of miracles were happening. Good stuff, good luck. He's been having bad luck, like I told you, due to black magic by his karmic. He's been having a lot of bad luck and bad things happening to him in his surroundings. But from the moment he was with me, everything started being positive and solutions were coming up on its own and stuff. And then when he decided to leave my hometown, he was called back to work on a huge project. And it's actually a religious object. And this is my twin flame. This is him in my house. My house is a total mess, and it hasn't been used for 2 decades, and nobody took good care of it. So he was fixing stuff, and he was so excited, telling me what kind of project he can do here, and remodeling and everything. And I don't know, I was just so happy. And then he, like I said, he got called on to work on the new mosque in his town. And like I told you, this is that test, this is that challenge, when one twin is still not 100% in 5D, but he's still connected to 3D. He wants to prove himself that he can do this. He wants to do. I asked him, is it because it's religious? Because then it's just a show off. Then you're just showing off because you're a religious guy. You're building a religious project. It's like, it's not that. I want to prove to some guys that I can do it, because they said that I'm not capable of doing that roof, that special kind of a dome type of roof. And he's like, this is his 3D, this is his ego trying to prove himself. Then he went back to karmic, and again, I'm sure 100% it's a black magic, because his whole complete being changes, and it cannot be bipolar disease. That's not what it is. It's change of brain waves due to black magic. And then he came back. It was extremely stupid of him, crazy of him, that he came back one night, traveled across the country for 7 hours in the middle of the night, just to come to me, just to see me, and just to say, I just came, and then I gotta go back right now. I'm like, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? You traveled for so many hours just to come to me and to tell me you have to leave immediately. That was, I mean, that was a crazy moment, because that was him, his twin flame, him, and that black magic that's done on him, and the 3D and everything else mixed up, pulling him apart. He wants to be here, he needs to be there. It's crazy. And then I started crying. I was so upset with him. Like, why in the world would you travel for 7 hours just to tell me that I'm here? I gotta go now. I'm like, what is wrong with you? That's not normal. But I then calmed down. I calmed him down, and we sat down. We started talking. I told him just rest. He was so tired because he worked the day before. He just drove and drove and drove. He didn't even get rest from driving me across the country to my hometown. And then I told him, let's just take a nap. Let's just hug and sleep. And then you go back. It's okay if that's what you want. And he was like, I'll come back, but this is hard for me. And then either black magic or someone, I mean, could be also family members, other people around. There's a lot of karmic influences around him to tell him, that's not going to work, all that. That's what they're telling me. I know because it's happening to me. My friends are calling me like, he's not for you. He's not going to blah, blah, blah. And I'm just shutting them off. But he's not like me. He doesn't know the twin flame journey as well as I do. Like, he doesn't know the road as well as I do. So I know how to shut people down and tell them, you know what, if you come with the negative opinions and negative outcomes for me, I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to share. If you have something positive to say, you're welcome, but I don't want to hear bad energies and stuff, because I believe in law of attraction, and I believe that we create our own reality with the will of God. Yes, Jesus did heal people with his own hands, with the will of God. So we can manifest, but with the will of God. But it starts with our own intentions and thoughts, and they have to be positive if you want positive outcomes. Anyways, and so he took a nap. He wanted to take a nap, but then that energy came back, and he was just crazy attracted again to make love to me, and we merged again. This time was even bigger and better than anything before. And it just time again had passed. Like, suddenly he was not tired, I was not upset, everything just like crazy twin flames, just crazy. But then I don't know, I should have locked him up in the room, I guess. But I said, you have to go back to work, go back to finish that mosque. I almost said that mosque. Yeah, well, all of you who want to unsubscribe, I don't know. I gotta say it because this is something. Okay, I'll tell you a hadith right now. There is a hadith for all of you who are non-Muslim. Hadith is a story that is sometimes 100%, from our prophet or from his companions. Sometimes it's not so accurate, but sometimes it is, sometimes 50% accurate. Anyways, for the Muslims, they know what hadith there is. And there's a hadith that says it's better to break even Kaaba, which is in Mecca, which is the holiest of holy places on the planet, than to break someone's heart. Okay? So that's why I'm saying to leave the twin flame union for anything that is built by physical form, by hands, anything material, even religious object, is a mistake. It's a mistake. And the biggest mistake of all is to go back under the influence of karmic and under the black magic. So what started happening to me immediately after that was super bad luck. I've never had such bad luck in the whole of my life. I was always kind of protected by angelic forces and everything, but after the merge, I'm part of my twin flame. So almost as if, his bad karma has transferred onto me, and until making this video right now, I was so mad at him for letting that happen, because, and I'm kind of, this video helps me to understand, but I'm still kind of mad because, and that's my ego. I know that's my ego, but also I know from the spiritual knowledge that we are twin flames, this is mistake, because he's merged, we merged, and now the twin flame energy is being depleted by bad karma and bad luck, because he's doing opposite of what God wants him to do. So even the angels have removed the protection, and even death has happened in my surrounding just yesterday. Like I said, I don't want to talk about it, but it's terrible. It's terrible. It's very painful for me, and I have almost lost it yesterday. I was in so much pain. I shut off my phone. I didn't answer anyone. It was so hard. I was on the edge, like literally, because of him going away from this energy, running away, like Prophet Jonas when he ran away from his mission, from being a prophet of God. He ran on the ship. He was trying to hide from his real self, and this is the runner's face again, but at the same time it's also black magic, and it's also ego working, and 3D calling him back. So I gotta just stay put, no matter how abandoned and and betrayed I feel in 3D, and my own ego is yelling at me that I'm being betrayed. Still I have this knowledge, like I just shared with you, that I know that this is just a phase, another phase that he has to go through to realize who we really are. And also for me, a test, one more final test, like if reunion happened after so many struggles and everything, and we made it through, then also to know that um, this is for me to regain my power, to remember that I'm divine feminine. And then, you know, how to explain this? I just realized that today I completely lost my, after he left, I had lost any feeling of being any kind of, sexual being, having anything. All of my chakras have shut down after he left. From all that merge and all that amazing energy and everything, suddenly I'm depleted. I'm completely like, I'm shut down. And I couldn't understand that. Like, I couldn't feel anything, like in my chakras, anything. And today I said to myself, wait a second, regain that. Go back to what happened before the reunion. You have to get that strength back, because that's what he needs. That's what he needs, so that he can get away from the magic, from the 3D, from the physical, from the ego. But also, it's my ego that's saying, betrayed, 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 alone, alone, alone. Why now, after all this? How could you do this? You have to stop saying that to yourself, and get back on the horse, on that energetic horse and spiritual horse, and bring my chakras back together. And so I've been meditating tonight, no matter how hard it is for me, what happened in the past few days, and emotional, and the tragedy and the death, and the bad luck he brought to me, and everything started falling apart. I lost money. I got basically robbed, not literally, but I got basically scammed and robbed, and all the things that shouldn't have happened, that usually never happen to me, have happened. And I was so uh sending bad energy towards him, because I blame him. I do blame him for that, but it's not his fault that he's still under influence. There is karmics, and they're still trying to do crap, and there's still his ego, and there's still 3D. So he has to learn the lesson, but I also have to learn the lesson that no matter what, I'm divine feminine. And when there's little breakages in the reunion, and little things like this, then I have to regain my power. And in the merge, I'm divine feminine, and in the merge, I'm both. But out of the merge, I'm still divine feminine. I cannot forget that. So today, in Old Paradox, I bought ticket to a show that's going to happen in 3 days, and I feel like that's going to be important. It's like it's a cultural event. I will share it with you guys. Anyways, I wanted to say that there's another sign of black magic happening to my twin, that I'm not crazy about imagining that, because you see, when I started showing you his video where he's fixing my old blinds in my living room, in my messed up house, that video is much longer. But no matter what I do, it stops right there. It gets stuck when he turns his face towards me and we are talking. I did turn down the sound, because I'm talking over this video, but I don't know why this video keeps stopping as soon as he turns around. I feel that he's being blocked. And another thing, weirdest thing is when we were in the resort on the third day, just before that huge fight broke out, and he almost jumped out of he tried to jump out of the car. I had to stop the car on the freeway. He tried to jump out of the car. It was so scary. And no, he's not a crazy guy. If you mean, well, that was a crazy thing to do, but he's not crazy. So like I want to say, the day before, the karmic, she texted him, and she asked him to send, this is, I know, that's crazy, she's crazy, she's a crazy witch. She asked him to send my photo to her, and he, being naive and being under black magic influence and under her mental influence, he actually asked me to do that. And I said, what? No way. I am not sending anyone my photo, especially not someone like that. And I mentioned black magic, and he's so defensive. He's so defensive. He's like, you and black magic again, because when people are under influence of black magic, they don't want to even hear that word. They get crazy when you mention it. They just get scared, excited, angry, super angry. So then I don't know how, but she did something that night, some kind of ritual or whatever the crap she did, because that night, that was our night in the hotel before checkout, he was grinding his teeth in his sleep. He was tossing and turning and talking in his sleep. The two previous nights he was sleeping like so peacefully, so beautifully. So that was not normal. I could tell the signs of black magic. It was working on him during his sleep, and next day he was acting weird. He was nervous. He couldn't even wake up for the prayer. I tried everything. I couldn't wake him up for the prayer. No matter what I did, it was it was just definitely sign of black magic. And like I said, this video is stopping, a lot of other things. So I want you to do just like you did previously before my reunion. Pray for my twin, and pray for everyone and your twins and everyone to get rid of black magic influence egos and 3D, drawing them down. And I believe that our merge, and every time we merged, and our reunion itself that happened from 7th of May until now, has been so much energetically charged and amazing, that when I prayed and we prayed, and then we also did the, like I said, Salah and prayers together, that it is gonna help your reunion if it's not already happening. Please comment. I want to hear that some reunions have happened, that my prayers have worked. And I want to say I love you guys. And this what you see on the video is an old kind of like a snow thing that you go on the snow ride with. So I love you. I'll talk to you soon. And my charger is only 5%. It's crazy. Bad luck. Bad luck. I'm not gonna let it. Today it kind of changed a little bit. I turned it around. I started feeling new good luck coming in. And there's some new stuff going on. And I will talk to you soon, guys. I'll keep you posted. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. I love you. Stay tuned and like the video.